Good afternoon. Today I'm going to provide a brief presentation on Supply Chain 360, also known as SC360, a new solution that could help iJet expand its services into supply chain risk management. So iJet has traditionally operated in the realm of threat intelligence as it pertains to people, buildings, and more broadly business continuity. iJet has grown quickly and established itself as a major provider of threat intelligence to some of the world's largest companies. However, there's a growing need and desire for supply chain risk management tools that support existing supply chain management and optimization uh, software products. I think iJet is well positioned to enter this space and could do so rather seamlessly, especially with regards to threat monitoring and alerting. So here I'm going to provide a market analysis, essentially what's going on in the realm of supply chain threat management. There's an abundance of existing technology, or I should say, there's an abundance of existing supply chain management products and solutions that can help companies with demand forecasting and planning, asset tracking, and product flow, etc. But these solutions are heavily tilted towards data capture and analysis. And what I've seen is that there exists a need for products that can identify and monitor other types of disruptions or disruptions that aren't easily captured by data from existing products or services. And some of those disruptions that can't be captured include industrial actions, severe weather, environmental disasters, and geopolitical events. And in total, these types of disruptions, which aren't captured by data, cost supply chains billions of dollars of losses each year. So being able to identify these events and these disruptions and then take preemptive action helps supply chain managers plan and manage their upstream and downstream activities better. And so this is a huge potential money saver. So generally speaking, that's what the existing supply chain management field looks like, and kind of I gave an idea of what supply chain risk management tools aim to do. So through my market research, I've identified a few companies that are operating in the space of supply chain risk management. These are all fairly new companies. Some of them have products that lean more towards supply chain risk management, and then some of these have tools and services that are a little bit more in the direction of traditional supply chain management. But I noted that the three companies that really stood out were Risk Methods, FreightWatch International, and Overhaul Group. And actually, of these three, Risk Methods is probably the most direct in terms of competition compared to my solution, SC360. So now I'm going to provide an overview of SC360 as well as talk about the different products that comprise the solution. So SC360, it's, as I said, a supply chain risk management solution that is either adapt to existing security risk management programs at clients, or it can act as a source of threat information for supply chain managers. And within the realm of supply chain, its real value is that it can support upstream and downstream planning. So it provides insight, as I mentioned earlier, into aspects of the supply chain that aren't easily captured by data. It's designed, as I said, for both security as well as supply chain managers. And the product is subscription based, so it intends to generate recurring revenue, which falls in line with the direction that iJet wants to go. So there's a base cost, and then anything that exceeds that base cost is scalable revenue. And so when thinking about SC360, there's four main products, and they're developed in an order so that development and rollout of the entire solution kind of helps to transition or easily transition iJet into the realm of supply chain risk management. And the design of the SC360 solution builds on iJet's strengths and expertise and is meant to keep costs low and reduce upfront investments. So now I'm going to talk about the specific products that make up the SC360 solution set. So the first one is threat monitoring. This is very similar to the types of activities that iJet already does for clients. Threat monitoring in this case involves identifying threats to supply chains that may cause disruptions, such as port strikes, severe weather, highway banditry, etc. This product will be managed by an in-house category intelligence team that will identify threats, assess their severity, estimate their duration, tag them with metadata, and then geocode them to appear on clients' dashboards. Security manager clients, similar to those clients that we already have, can use this information for greater visibility into operational threats. Supply chain manager clients, or I should say prospective clients, people or clients that we're aiming to target with this product, can use this information, which is not easily captured by RFID, sensors, or other technology, to improve upstream and downstream forecasting and planning. So that's really critical. So this is the real big advantage that this threat monitoring product provides, is that it provides supply chain managers with even greater visibility into their supply chains, especially areas where they're not really able to monitor through data capture. So that threat monitoring product will be developed first. A lot of attention and detail will be paid to rebranding and repurposing existing software as well as processes to really make this a great product for supply chain. The second product is incident reporting. And so this is something similar to what iJet also already offers to travelers, except for in this instance, it'll be for supply chains. Again, each of these different products, one can be developed and the others don't have to be developed. But these are kind of as part of the solution set. I just thought that it'd be important to mention each of them. So incident reporting. It's a product that is used to report cargo thefts, hijackings, armed robberies, and other disruptions. These incidents would be logged by clients, clients' internal security teams, freight managers, or truck drivers, either on an app or through a PC. And the incident reporting would include a summary of the incident, estimation of losses, and geo-coordinates of where the incident occurred. So clients could access all of their incident reports on a dashboard, and they could also look at other clients, iJet clients, incidents, and get a sense for where kind of things geographically are occurring in clusters. And if they have access to other clients' information, the identities of those clients would be stripped. So those first two products really build on technology and areas of expertise that iJet's already developed. The next two, GPS asset tracking and dynamic route planning, really kind of shift iJet more towards the direction of supply chain risk management. So the GPS asset tracking, it's very intuitive. It involves the use of receivers that relay assets, geo-coordinates to a server, which then will display those assets' locations against a map. So GPS asset tracking is used in many industries, especially transport and logistics, and is well developed and understood. SC360 for this product will include an intuitive graphical user interface to visualize real-time asset tracking and map assets locations in relation to risks that are identified in the threat monitoring product. So the GPS asset tracking really goes well with threat monitoring. So you kind of have two overlays on the same map. So you've got the threats that have been that are shown in polygons or put against a map, and then you're able to track your assets as they move across a geography or a space in relation to where those threats are. So GPS asset tracking is fairly simple to roll out, but it's not something that iJet has necessarily done before. We do have something that we have critical asset track, where we track employees through their cell phone. So it's similar, but not quite the same. And then lastly, and this really kind of puts iJet towards supply chain risk management, and it's not necessarily a capability that's been developed yet in-house. But that is dynamic route planning. And that involves the use of GPS asset tracking data to identify geographical areas where specific client experiences disruptions and recommended new route options. So this is where we show where disruptions are occurring either historically or in real time, and we can provide routes around those disruptions based on an algorithm. So dynamic route planning can also be used, as I said, to provide real-time route changes and circumnavigate emerging problem areas or threats. And it optimizes routes according to travel time and risk to cargo and transportation equipment. So the dynamic route planning product could also include a feature that alerts supply chain managers when an asset like a truck veers too far off course from an established supply chain route. So those are the four products that make up the solution set. And just to add a little bit more detail, I think that these different products or this entire solution set could be delivered or developed over a 3-year time period. So from a strategic point of view, if we look here, SC360 for the first two products is still heavily towards supply chain risk management, or it would kind of be in the realm of where iJet has existing experience, so threat monitoring, incident reporting. But with the other two products, which will be developed later, so that being both the asset tracking and the dynamic route planning, that's when you start to see that shift towards traditional supply chain solutions. And we've seen that at iJet, security and risk management teams tend to have rather small budgets, and they really have to show a lot of value to business planning teams to be able to kind of get buy-in for security and risk management solutions. But when we're talking about supply chain, that's where companies know the value of supply. They know the value of optimizing their supply chain and are willing to put a lot more money towards it. So that's where I think, even though iJet doesn't currently really have that expertise in supply chain management or supply chain risk management, that over time we can develop products that'll push us over into this quadrant and really allow iJet to tap into more lucrative opportunities in the supply chain space. I mentioned earlier that this transition from security and risk management to supply chain risk management would occur through the development of 4 products, and that development of those 4 products could potentially take up to 3 years. And that's mainly because I think iJet needs to take its time and develop expertise in supply chain risk management. And there's some organizational changes that need to occur to support that. To really get this project moving forward, an internal team consisting of leaders from the product management, software development, sales, account management, marketing, and category intelligence departments needs to form to discuss the development and rollout of the 360 solution. And during the actual development of the first product, which is threat monitoring, iJet will rely heavily on client feedback about the product, what they like, what they don't like, and use agile methodologies to make changes or to develop the product. With regards to organizational management, iJet will need to use the working team that I mentioned earlier to align iJet's various departments with the new SC360 solution. iJet will need to develop internal supply chain risk management expertise similar to the types of expertise that's been developed around the oil and gas, transport, and environment categories. And so since the category intelligence teams are broken out by region, I think the best idea would be to assign a supply chain risk manager expert or risk management expert for each of the different geographical regions. I know that's difficult, so taking away existing resource from these teams. But if you look at the recent Red 24 acquisition, I think there's some room to take the new employees from Red 24 and kind of add them to existing regional teams. And then once those resources have been added, identify somebody within each region that can take the supply chain management lead and then feed into the threat monitoring system once it's launched. And more broadly within the organization, iJet needs to consider training employees in account management, sales, and marketing so that they can intelligently speak about the SC360 solution and how it helps clients. And a lot of that is just internal education and training around supply chain risk management, and essentially what iJet is doing to support clients' mission. And that's a program that can be developed by iJet's internal training team, along with the category management leaders, or I should say category intelligence management leaders. Within sales and marketing, the launch of SC360 is going to require some change. So iJet will need to rebrand itself essentially to reflect the expansion from security and risk management into supply chain risk management. When we are seeking feedback or looking to make sales of the different products within the SC360 solution, sales and marketing will need to leverage existing relationships with clients for warm introductions to supply chain risk management professionals. That having been said, because SC360 is very similar in many regards to the types of products that iJet already offers, I don't envision marketing, sales, or account managing practices and processes to change very much. If anything, they'll just need to expand to kind of bring in the SC360 solution into the existing portfolio. So the question is, how will the SC360 solution, if it is sold and when it's sold to clients or when they take out a subscription, how will it be delivered to them? So through iJet's four main existing channels, being direct subscription resellers, the Powered by iJet API, and managed services, I envision SC360 products being delivered in the following way. So with the direct subscription, iJet clients can directly subscribe to 360 products, which will provide them with direct access to their subscription level and related information channels. In general, the SC360 solution will most likely be part of WorldQ GCC and will not be a standalone portal. And the reason for this is that it ensures that clients will continue to only need one username and one password to access all of their different iJet products. One of the other channels is resellers. So eventually iJet will allow its reseller channel partners to set up and manage SC360 accounts for their clients. iJet already provides this service for our security and risk management products, but as far as I can tell, we don't have any existing reseller partners that operate in supply chain management or would really have a current need for the SC360 solution. So the next channel is Powered by iJet API. And for me, this is the most interesting channel that we have. And I think it's proven to be a very lucrative and promising channel for iJet moving forward. But Powered by iJet has proven to be one of the company's fastest growing revenue generators. Essentially, clients do not often require iJet's entire existing security or risk management solution set. They really kind of want to pick and choose which products to integrate into their own customized security risk management ecosystem. So clients can access this type of configuration, as I've mentioned, via Powered by iJet. So when we're talking about SC360, SC360 delivered via Powered by iJet API could be especially appealing to supply chain managers that have the data tools they need to monitor and evaluate product flow and forecasting, but they lack reliable threat information to help them prepare for unforeseen disruptions. So essentially, they could use Powered by iJet or a threat monitoring tool through Powered by iJet to kind of add on to their existing supply chain management solution. So this way, they don't have to really buy into iJet's entire solution package. They can just really, through our API, plug into what they want and get it quickly. So I think that's very powerful and very useful. And then lastly, within our different channels, we have managed services, and this kind of captures everything. But several companies have hired iJet consultants, and as we call them internally, dedicated analysts, to provide on-site security and risk management services. So while such clients would not likely outsource supply chain risk management services to dedicated analysts, at least initially, they may ask embedded consultants to work more closely with their supply chain teams. So SC360 delivered via Powered by iJet could support future engagements between embedded iJet analysts or analysts that are part of managed services and the supply chain management teams at those clients. With financials, I think it's fairly difficult to really forecast out demand and what the complete cost for developing the SC360 solution set will be. But I think there's a few important things that we can touch on that are valuable and promising for iJet. And one of those being that SC360 produces reoccurring revenue. So this would be our AVC revenue. So there's a baseline cost to develop each of these products. With threat monitoring, your largest cost after the product has been developed is just salaries for people to monitor events and upload intelligence. With the other products, once they've been built, they're really the costs are marginal. It's really kind of just you scale your revenue based on how many signups or subscriptions you get. With the way that I've developed the product or the solution rollout from one product to the next, starting out with threat monitoring, there's really fairly minimal upfront investment because we have existing expertise and infrastructure in this space. And it's really with threat monitoring and incident reporting, it's really more of a rebranding and repurposing of existing software issue. Again, threat monitoring can be scaled fairly well. It really only requires about $20,000 per month in salary costs. Anything above that is when we start to talk about profit. And again, just to recap, asset tracking, dynamic route planning, once those are developed, and if we do gain traction with clients, those could turn profitable very quickly, given that it doesn't require any human input or monitoring from iJet. It's really just implementation cost. So if we look at the financials for threat monitoring, these forecasts are really built on some loose assumptions. For the startup cost, that is a fairly accurate figure. It was developed so that $275,000 to get this threat monitoring product off the ground. That cost was developed through consultations with the product management, marketing, sales, and software team. The area that is highly variable is this growth rate. So how quickly do clients sign up for this product? And here, this first year, we assume 10% growth per month. And that's being very optimistic. So we need to really figure out what that growth rate is, or have a more accurate idea of what the growth rate is for year one and for year two as well. There's a lot of factors that can influence both. This graph is of the threat monitoring financial projections. So the blue line is projected revenue, monthly revenue from the 0 to 24 months out. And this is with the different growth rates. This orange line is essentially the aggregate of the startup cost to launch the threat monitoring product, as well as monthly costs, which are about $20,000. So roughly around month 16, I start to see monthly subscription revenues in excess of the $20,000 monthly cost. And as you can see, this aggregate loss, the combination of startup cost plus monthly cost, starts to go down fairly dramatically as revenues rise. Again, this is highly subjective to the growth rate, client subscription growth rate, which, as I mentioned, we're going to need to really refine and figure out. But I'm optimistic that this product could turn a profit somewhere between month 16 and month 24. And that's because we have a very low, essentially, low maintenance costs, which are salaries, essentially. Based on my presentation today, I have a few key recommendations. So I would recommend, based on my research, that iJet create a working model of the threat monitoring product and at least test it with existing clients, and then gauge their feedback and kind of see where our existing clients are at. And I would also recommend that maybe test the threat monitoring product with prospective clients that are more in the space of supply chain management or supply chain risk management. I think one of the really great benefits of the SC360 solution, in particular threat monitoring, is its ability to provide greater supply chain visibility, which improves upstream and downstream planning, and that ultimately translates into cost reductions for clients. If I were to do this, I would focus on the threat monitoring product and pushing it through the Powered by iJet API channel, especially to supply chain risk management professionals. So as we've said, these supply chain risk management professionals already have a solution set that helps them with forecasting, product flow, etc. And what they might want is something that they can add to their existing solution set that will provide them with even greater visibility into threats that aren't captured by data, and that'll help them ultimately with their planning. And then lastly, I think supply chain risk management is potentially a really lucrative field for iJet to get into. And whether SC360 gets developed or not, I think iJet should work to build internal expertise in supply chain risk management and evaluate the long-term benefits and profitability of products that can scale iJet's revenue without added cost. And that would be something like an SC360. The SC360 solution, while I do see many benefits, it's not without its risks. First and foremost, it would require buy-in from LLR partners, which essentially dictates what iJet does or doesn't do. So that would be a first step, is to see what LLR partners thinks about it. Another area that I've thought about is that the SC360 solution serves a gray area between security and risk management and supply chain risk management. And I think that it's possible that the market is still too compartmentalized into those two buckets for SC360 to kind of to breach either security risk management or supply chain risk management. Another issue is that iJet it has very little credibility at this point in supply chain risk management. We do work with companies on threats to their supply chain. We've mapped out a couple tier one supply chains for clients. But it might be that iJet is not able to bridge its lack of credibility to really push or to make an impression on the supply chain risk managers. So that's another risk that needs to be considered. And then lastly, it's just kind of development risk. So it could be that SC360 lacks the features and tools that clients and prospective clients really want, or that would make it attractive. So there's always the case that you could develop a great product, or develop what you think is a great product, but it's just not what clients want, or it's not what clients thought they want, and it just doesn't gain traction. So with that, I appreciate you having taken some time to listen to this presentation. I hope to refine it over the next couple of weeks and then give a live version of it to everyone at the office once I'm back in Annapolis. Thank you so much.